everybody. My name is Miriam Adams. I am a lifetime resident of the Saugerties area, attended Saugerties schools, and live in Saugerties today with my husband, Eric. And we own the Renwick Clifton House Bed and Breakfast. We have owned the Renwick Clifton House for about 20 years now, although we didn't own the Renwick Clifton House back in 1994 during the Woodstock Festival. I was probably in my late 20s back then, and I have fond memories of that festival. My sister and I attended the festival on Friday night. We bought tickets and we went and we were very excited and we camped. And I remember my sister falling asleep and I left her there and I went to a rave party while she slept. And it was a lot of fun. We had a great time, but we had to leave Saturday morning because we were attending a 40th anniversary party for my parents. So we couldn't stay. That was more important. We had to leave for the party. But while we were there, the gates came down and all types of chaos broke out. And in my mind, I thought of ways that we could earn some money and get in on all of the action that was happening. And I, as I mentioned, was a young woman at that time in my late 20s, and I was going to Germany the next week. And I didn't have $1 to my name. I bought my plane ticket, but I didn't really have all that much money. I was a single mother, and I thought, I need to earn some money. I'm leaving for Germany, and I don't have any money. So I talked to my friend Tammy, who her boyfriend at the time owned a used car lot in Kingston. And we were able to get a hold of one of his 12-passenger vans. And so we got that van and we got one of those red passes that people that lived in the vicinity of the festival were given. And so her sister lived in the area at the time, and we got one of the passes and we got in the van and we started shuttling people. There were people walking along the roads, people looking for their cars, people that were carrying groceries or alcohol or trying to get alcohol. And so we would just pull over when we saw people and we would say, hey, do you need a ride? And they'd say, well, how much? And so we were charging $5. And we were driving in the vicinity of Saugerties or Kingston. And we had a blast just picking up all different types of people and driving them wherever they needed to go, getting them close to the festival or as close to the festival as possible if they were returning. And that in itself was fun because different roads were closed and at different periods of time. So we would get the red pass out and we'd give it to the police, and then we'd get as close to the festival as possible, and maybe a road would be closed and we'd try to get around back roads. And we had just so much fun, going through the different hurdles that we had to get to. But at some point we had to say to the people that we picked up for the $5, okay, this is as far as we're getting. You're on your own from here. But they honestly were fine with that. They were happy to have a ride because some were going as far as Kingston to get groceries and food and or alcohol and or to find their cars where, and they didn't even know where their cars were located in some cases. So we were able to help them there. One thing I do remember, a story that I love, we saw this young kid walking along the road. He couldn't have been more than, my friend Tammy and I, we were talking, we're like, that kid can't be more than 12 or 13. Where are his parents? Why is he alone? So we stopped and we said to him, do you need help? And he said, well, I need a ride. And we said, well, where are you going? He said, I'm going to the Rhinecliff train station. And we said, well, are you alone? And he said, I am. And he said, I just came from the festival. And we said, well, where are your parents? And he said, well, they didn't know that I came to the festival. I didn't tell them until after I arrived here. I took the train from Pennsylvania, and that's how I got here. So I need to get back on the train. And we said, well, how did you get a train ticket? Where did you get the money? And he said, well, my mother always let me use her ATM card when we went to the bank on Fridays. I knew that my father and my mother got paid on Fridays, and when we went to the bank, my mother would always ask me to get her money out of the bank, so I knew their PIN. So I took their ATM card and I went to the bank and I withdrew money and I bought myself a train ticket to Rhinecliff, and I found a ride over to the festival, and that's how I got in. And I called them when I got here to let them know that I was safe because I knew they wouldn't let me go. And I knew that, that's something that I had always wanted to do probably because they told me about when they went to the festival in '69. So it was an opportunity for me. So Tammy and I delivered this kid safely to the train station, and we, for years, have always talked about how that kid has grown into either the president of a company or he's in jail somewhere. We're not quite sure, but he had a lot of chutzpah for a young kid his age, for sure. It was fun.